from them, a valid question in the argument for the existence of extraterrestrial life. If they are out there, why haven't we made contact? Well, there are many people out there who believe we have made contact, and the evidence for this contact is right in front of our face. So let's not waste another minute, let's dive into this mystery and let's get to it. Ever since the days of Aristotle, Copernicus, and Galileo, astronomers and curious minds alike have been looking above to the heavens and stars, asking that age-old question, are we alone? Does intelligent life exist outside of our own, or is this tiny blue planet and the human beings that occupy it all there is? Now, for most mainstream scientists, this is a question they continuously seek the answer for. However, for many others, this is a question that has already been answered, highlighting evidence from not only our current civilization, but every single human civilization that has ever existed since the dawn of humans. However, no matter how compelling or obvious the evidence may be, it is still speculative, as it is a story being told through the eyes of another. That being said, the petroglyphs, the structures, the statues, the stories, and the current video and photo evidence we have today is not where this evidence ends. Many people believe we have the ultimate evidence: contact. November 16, 1974, to celebrate the remodeling of the Arecibo radio telescope located in Puerto Rico, early pioneers of what is now known as SETI, or the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, sent an interstellar message to the globular star cluster M13. This message, which was sent in a binary code form transmission, lasted about 3 minutes and contained 7 parts to it. Now, included within the 7 parts were the numbers 1 through 10 in binary code, information about a human being's DNA, as well as the atomic number of all the elements that make up the structure of our DNA, a graphic design of a human being, as well as the population of Earth, a graphic design of our solar system, and finally a graphic design of the Arecibo radio telescope itself. Created by Dr. Frank Drake, who came up with the famous Drake equation along with astronomer Carl Sagan, this message was more of a demonstration rather than an expectation of a reply, simply because this star cluster was 25,000 light years away, which meant it would take about 25,000 years for them to receive this message, and another 25,000 years for us to receive a response from that message. So again, more of a demonstration. However, nearly 27 years later to the day, a response to this message seemed to appear over 4,000 miles away in Hampshire, England. In August 2001, 2 mysterious crop formations appeared in a field right next to the Gibraltar radio telescope located in Hampshire, England. These crop formations were very interesting for a few reasons. The first being they are pixelated, next being the actual formations. This first one a very mysterious face, but the second one, which is the most intriguing, looks to be an exact replica of the original Arecibo message that was sent nearly 27 years earlier. However, there are 3 key differences found in this crop formation as opposed to the original Arecibo message, the first being the graphic of the human. In this one, we see what looks to be the depiction of a modern-day gray alien. The next being the solar system, which is completely different from ours, and the final one being the structure of their DNA. Now, as you would imagine, many in the mainstream dismiss these crop formations as nothing but a hoax. However, many others argued that in order to create a hoax with such perfection, you would need unbelievable planning and execution, almost to the point of impossibility. Remember, these 2 images were pixelated, so not only would you need to have the knowledge and ability to create a crop formation but you would need the ability to create a pixelated image on the ground with such accuracy that it would portray these images from the sky. Next, you would need information about the original Arecibo radio transmission, and you would need knowledge about DNA sequence and solar systems as to create such an accurate hoax. Not to mention, you have to do it all overnight in complete stealth without anybody seeing you. I would really love to know what you guys think. Could these two crop formations be an actual alien response to a message sent by human beings to the stars, or just a very well executed clever hoax? Leave your comments below. August 15, 1977, the Big Ear Radio Telescope, located at The Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio, picks up a 72-second narrowband radio transmission that appears to have origins in the Chi-Sagittarius star cluster, which is located in the Sagittarius constellation. This signal went unnoticed until a few days later when astronomer Jerry Eyman came in to review the data from the previous days, at which point he discovered this anomalous signal that so impressed him, he circled it and wrote the word "wow" right next to it, hence we get the name the WOW signal. Now, many astronomers and scientists alike agree that this alphanumeric sequence that was discovered by Eyman is some of the best evidence for intelligent extraterrestrial life, as this message bore the hallmarks of an extraterrestrial signal. And since its discovery, numerous theories have been put forth to explain what this mysterious signal could have been. Everything from interstellar scintillation of a weaker signal, which is similar to the effects of atmospheric twinkling, the signal being an Earth-based radio transmission that bounced off a piece of space debris, to the most recent theory that was proposed in 2017 that the signal comes from a hydrogen cloud which surrounds a comet. However, the scintillation theory fell short simply because it would have been detected by other larger radio telescopes. The Earth-based theory fell short because of the sheer size of this radio transmission, in addition to this being a protected spectrum, which is a broadband reserved strictly for astronomical purposes and it is forbidden for other uses. And the most recent theory that this signal was originated from a hydrogen cloud of a comet actually did gain a little bit of traction. However, after further research, it was discovered the comet was nowhere near that radio beam at the time the message was received. In addition, comets are not radio bright at these frequencies. Also, it does not explain why only one beam of the Big Ear Radio Telescope picked up this radio transmission and the other larger beam did not. That being said, there is another unexplained alien message that occurred just 3 months after the discovery of the WOW signal that I feel could possibly be a connecting piece and an explanation for what the WOW signal was.
Mr. Smith's offer to negotiate an internal settlement based on one man, one vote. But, he says, there are conditions. These include stopping the execution of all captured prisoners of war, allowing European stakeholders in negotiation, being arrested. In Australia, Mr. Kerry Packer's cricketers are still pleased about yesterday's High Court decision.
On November 26, 1977, a voice calling himself Vrillion, a representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, interrupted a nightly news broadcast through the Hannington radio transmitter of the Independent Broadcast Authority in the Southern United Kingdom to deliver a message of warning to the leaders of Earth and its inhabitants.
We come to warn you of the destiny of your race and your world, so that you may communicate to your fellow beings the course you must take to avoid the disaster which threatens your world and the beings on other worlds around you. You will find great peace and evolution for your race, but only your rulers are made aware of the evil forces that can overshadow their judgments. Be still now, and listen, for your chance may not come again.
As you would imagine, many dismissed this Vrillion message as a hoax. However, many experts explain that in order to pull off a hoax of this magnitude would take a lot of quote-unquote know-how, and to take no credit for this spectacular feat then or in the future seems a little bit odd. Now my theory is this: let's assume that the Vrillon message and the WOW signal are both confirmed alien messages. Could they be related? Could the Vrillon message that the Hannington radio telescope in the southern UK picked up be the actual WOW signal that the Big Ear radio telescope picked up as it was on its way to Earth from its location of origin? And what I find intriguing about this theory is it would kind of make sense, because the actual WOW signal was just a radio transmission. There was no embedded code within the signal that they discovered, so it would just show up as a radio transmission. It would also explain why we have never seen or heard this signal again since. All that being said, if there is anybody out there watching this video that can actually do the math on this theory, please leave some comments below and let me know if it is even theoretically possible.
May you be blessed by the supreme love of intelligence.
Now a message is just that, a message, and with no real way to reply to this message or understand the true meaning of the message, although significant, it leaves a vagueness that allows for skepticism and unanswered questions. And really the only way to answer these unanswered questions is to have a face-to-face meeting with an intelligent extraterrestrial being, and that is exactly what is said to have happened in 1957. According to Reverend Frank Stranges and his book Stranger at the Pentagon, controversial and in many instances very fantastical, the book tells the story of an alien being named Valiant Thor, who was a representative of the High Council, said to be on a 3-year mission in which he not only met the President of the United States Dwight D. Eisenhower and the Vice President Nixon, but actually lived in an apartment in the Pentagon and traveled the world meeting other high-level government officials. Now the author, Frank Stranges, claims that he was approached by a woman and invited to the Pentagon to meet this alien being Valiant Thor, and when he did, they instantly developed a friendship and communicated on a regular basis. Now, as you would imagine, many criticized this book and scrutinized Reverend Frank Stranges and brought up many issues with his book. However, what I find interesting is there are actual documents about this individual Valiant Thor and pictures to accompany these documents. In addition, the story itself was corroborated by Laura Eisenhower, the great-granddaughter of the then President Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Harley Andrew Boyd, who was the nephew of the Admiral Richard Byrd. However, despite the evidence, this book has been considered a hoax, a fantastic story, and in fact many movies and books have been based on this story, most notably The Day the Earth Stood Still. So I leave it up to you to decide if this story is true or false, as well as the other supposed alien messages that we have received. That's going to do it for me on this one, guys. Thank you so much for coming by, checking out my video. I am still super new at this whole YouTube thing, and I would really love to grow this channel. So if you could, massive favor, that icon that probably just clicked right over here, right there, you see it? Give it a click, go to my channel, hit that subscribe button, keep coming back for more videos. Once again, guys, thank you so much for coming by. My name is Corey James, and I'm out.